A memorable day in April for the Taylor men's cross country team as they become the very first Taylor program to ever win a team national championship. They defeated second place Huntington by 41 points, and I'm joined by their head coach, Quinn White. Quinn, I'm getting chills just asking you this first question. What does it mean to bring home the first ever team national title to your alma mater, Taylor University?
Well, God gets the glory, and Rick, he orchestrated this. He gave us the opportunity. He brought these men together, and he gave them the talent that they use today to earn that title. It is so special. It was a goal of ours. We wanted to come in. We wanted to be at the beginning of the season. We wanted a national title. We got second last year. We knew we would have a chance, but I'm telling you what, there were about 7 teams that would have had a legit shot at that today. And fortunately, we were on. And as we did this, we had some great times, and we set a team time school record, but it wasn't like these unbelievable special times. It is literally like they did what they were supposed to do. And that's when it's really cool. It's not, they didn't have to go out and run something unbelievable like they've never done before. They just used their talent extremely well today to pull this off. And it means so much to us to bring the first title to Taylor University in athletics. It means so much to us. Again, we thank God for that. We did it for our teammates as well. We did it for the TUXC alums in the past. George Glass set the foundation of this program. There were coaches before him, and I'm sure they did a great job. And sadly, and I'm embarrassed, I don't know all of their names and stuff. But what George Glass did here was something that was just phenomenal. Sorry, it's a big day, man. Wow. And then, and he did so many great things. He built the program that we fed off of right now. And then Chris Coy came in and did some outstanding things with some extremely talented runners. And then Ted Bowers came in and rolled extremely well. And, I worked with Ted, and man, I just love that man to pieces. I'm sorry, man. And then Lance Vanderberg, one of my great friends. He brought these men in. He helped us unite this program. Lance Vanderberg gets a massive shout out. I want that known. This is ridiculous. Why am I crying? Okay, sorry. I guess it shows that we're real, right? So, putting all that into history, and then we also did it for the university, and we are very excited. We are humbled. I want you to know that this team handled it so well. And as I said right off the beginning, they did it. They did it well, and they did it for the Lord.
I was looking at the live stats with head women's soccer coach Scott Stan when the results were coming in. We kept hitting refresh and refresh and refresh and refresh. And you get through, 3/4 of the runners, and you kind of starts materializing in our heads that you guys had done it, had won the national championship. What's going through your head as you're trying to figure out the results live and in person? Because if no one's ever seen the national meet, it's almost like controlled chaos because there's hundreds of people running and there are people finishing seconds and tenths of a seconds together. So how are you trying to figure out where you guys are in the standings, seeing that you guys had 5 in the top 25?
Well, when you see that you have 5 in the top 25, you got a pretty legit shot. But with technology today, it's pretty special that we can have our phones with us as we're out there, and they have automatic timing, though it didn't work the way it was supposed to work. And when you have 300 people go across the mat at the 1 mile mark, probably within 20 to 30 seconds, I mean, that's got to be hard for anything, even if it's electronic. So we got out well. We didn't get out crazy, which I was really happy about, because sometimes we get out really right up front. And we were back just a little bit when they went past me at about, I'm going to say 800 meter mark. And someone said, well, how'd you get out, coach? And I said, you know what? I think we got out well. Like, we got out smart. And then, they go by us a couple times and we're looking good. And I know we got a shot, but there are other teams that are right in the hunt. And Oklahoma City's got 1, 2, and 3. And I'm sitting there thinking, holy smokes, man, they got 1, 2, and 3. If they're 4 or 5 or anything, they're going to rock this thing. And the results aren't coming up. They didn't come up with the mile. They didn't come up with the 2 mile. So it's just old fashioned, whatever, you're just trying to figure it out a little bit. They came up with the 3 mile and we're up 50 points. And they were going to go by me in about 3.5, a little bit before 4 miles, they went by me. And I'm like, man, we got this. All you got to do is hold, and I'm seeing them go by, Alex at that point is about 7th, and Josh is top 12 or so. And Danny and Luke are side by side, and Derek Van Proyen, Derek was back in about 32nd or so at that time. I mean, and he made this great charge the last 2 miles. But I'm like, all you got to do is finish. All you got to do is finish. We're up 50 points. I may not have said the score. Sorry, I'm just excited right now. And then they go by.
That's okay. You can be excited.
I see the 4 mile one, and man, we're still holding. And then they go by me with about 800 meters to go. And Alex is right there in this pack with a shot for 3rd place. And, Josh is still in about that 12th or so, wherever he was. And Luke and Danny are somewhere around 17, 18. And Derek's moved up to low 20s. And it's ours. And it was exciting and humbling and extremely special. But, the 2 other people on there, my son Connor, he lost his one of his shoes in the mud in the first 800 meters and ran 4.5 miles in just muddy, nasty stuff with one shoe. Didn't run the best, but he could have massively folded and he stayed strong. And then Sam Hardy, our 7th, this guy's like the little engine that could, man. He just, every meet, he gets better and better and better. And he PR'd, I think it was by about 30 seconds or so. I honestly haven't even looked at all the stats yet. And he ended up being our 6th man. He passed Connor, I think, right down there at the end. And it was just, what a day to celebrate. And it was so, so special.
I think it is interesting too. I went back when Scott was in the office when we had kind of realized that everything was official and you guys had won. I think it's interesting too. If you go back and let's say Derek doesn't finish 24th, if you would put either Sam or Connor's time in there with the placing, you guys still would have won the national championship. What does that show the depth of not just the 7 men that competed today, but the depth of the entire Taylor men's cross country program?
Well, that's a stat that I literally had no clue about. So that's fantastic. It just shows that depth. And, something I said in the ladies' interview as well, we talk like crazy. We talk at practice and we talk at meets. We have a philosophy of, on our hard days, we want to practice like we race and we race like we practice, so that when we get to a race, it's not this big, huge things like, oh man, it's race day, it's something special. No, it's just like every other day where we're talking and we're pushing each other and we're challenging each other and we're celebrating and laughing together. And that's the same way we want to race. And that's exactly what they did today. I told you about the guys that were packed together and talking and stuff. And it was, it's just so special. But yeah, we only had 7 guys run today, but you could just keep that train going. There are other just excellent guys that could have been in that top 7 and helped this team out. So we're very blessed, the whole squad that we have.
5 All-Americans for the Jarheads today. Alex Helmuth finishes 5th, Josh Roth 13th, Daniel Gerber 16th, Luke Robenstein 17th, Derek Van Proyen 24th. All 5 scored, all 5 are All-Americans. That'd make you pretty proud to see those guys have medals around their necks, right?
Oh, it's fantastic. And, you've been out to the TUXC farm, and one of the ways that we like to honor them is if you earn All-American, you get a tree planted in your honor in the Grove of All-Americans. Josh and Danny had already been All-Americans, so they already have their trees. And for the girls, our 2 All-Americans, Livy and Sarah, they already had their trees from last year. But Alex gets a tree planted in his honor, and Derek gets a tree planted in his honor, and Luke gets a tree planted in his honor. This is going to cost me a lot of money. So if you're an alum, we could use some help here. But man, that Grove of All-Americans is getting big. And it's something special. As I mentioned earlier, it goes all the way back to Coach Glass, because he had a national champion. And then he had a variety of All-Americans, and so did all the other coaches that I listed. So quite special. Not very many people have an opportunity to get 5 All-Americans actually in their coaching career. And we had 5 in one day, and it was something special. A stat you might not know, but I do know this one. They set a new team time record. I believe they beat the old team time record by 40 seconds. It was a mud fest. So how do they do that? I don't even know, but it was just extremely special. What a great group of young men.
If you guys keep getting All-Americans, I think we'll have to change it from the Grove of All-Americans to the Forest of All-Americans.
Yeah,
that's my
hey,
very bad. That's my one bad joke for the day, by the way.
That's a good joke.
We mentioned it in the ladies' interview. We can't let it go. We can't do the men's interview without mentioning it. Both the men's and the women's team get first place in the combined program score. You guys finished on the podium back in 2019. You've been the longtime women's head coach. You've been the men's head coach taking over the last couple of years. What does it mean to see both teams on the top step as they really are one program? They train together, they compete together, they do life together, really.
So, the men being the first athletic national title of any sport, I mean, that was something special. But for me, the men and the women winning the combined means more to me. And I know some people might be like, what, are you kidding? No, it does, because I think it just says so much about our culture, about our program, about our unity. This has been a process. These two teams were separate for many years. I'm sure they've done this, and a lot of them have got married and done different things like that. But they were two programs, and then the last, I think Coach Vanderberg and I really started to bring them together pretty well. And then it's common sense when you have one coach in charge of both programs that they're really together, and it's just special. I mean, they are a family, and some people, I've talked to other coaches, and they're like, your sports team's not a family. I'm going to tell you what, this is a family, and it's stinking special. And so to win this, last year we were second. We had a goal, men's title, women's title, combined title. We got two of those today. Those are pretty big dog goals. And that last one, that combined, to me, is the most special.
Quinn, I'll say for the whole athletics department, the whole university, congratulations. We are so proud of what you and the men accomplished today, and welcome to the history books of Taylor University, becoming the first team to ever win a team national championship in the history of Taylor athletics.
Thanks a lot, Rick.